It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is, of course, Expresso on S3, and we are in August, which means that we are celebrating all the wonderful queens and women across the country. And we continue to shine that spotlight on women leaving their mark in their respective industries. And we now connect with Natasha Petersen, an event and project management specialist with over 20 years of experience. 2 decades, Graham.
It's impossible. If you look at her, that is impossible. Can't be that many years, from local festivals to some of the biggest global sporting events, and I'm going to call them moments for South Africa. Natasha's passion, her perseverance, her bravery have been the driving force behind some of the most memorable projects worldwide. So please, can we give one of the Women of the Year a massive round of applause? Don't even try to act humble. Come on, girl. Don't even try.
It's all real. It's all real.
It's all real. I'm so glad you're saying that, because I would have a feeling you would have stood on that stage when you did actually win the G Sport Women of the Year awards, not knowing why you were up there, because you're just that kind of person. Do you get it now? Do you get how incredible you are and the mark that you have made, certainly within the sporting space? Just mind-blowing.
Actually, when I was on stage receiving that award, it was very emotional.
Yeah.
And as I walked onto stage, I think with every step I took, it kind of started sinking in. And the minute I turned to actually make a speech and I looked at the audience, my heart just went and my voice was quivering. And I think it's really a key message maybe for 30 years of democracy is that you have to own what you've done. And you have to, take the small wins, because the small wins is what gets you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And those doors, when they are opened and you choose to step through them, you never know where it's going to lead you.
Yeah.
Or kick them down.
Or kick them down. I mean, whichever kind of mood you're feeling in on that day. A little bit feisty.
Yes, always feisty. Natasha, you have mentioned 2 things that I'm taking note of as a fellow woman in this entertainment space as well. It's about the small wins that make the big win, right? But I wonder, over 2 decades, what continues to motivate you and inspire you to throw these events and to be part of mega moments in South Africa and beyond?
So I think growing up, I've always had a passion that was nurtured by my family, like a passion for sport and music.
Yeah.
Right? And somehow my path has navigated in such a way that I've been able to always merge and integrate the 2, which has now led me to this moment and this point. And I think it's drive and commitment and striving to everybody says you have to strive for excellence, but I don't necessarily think it's striving for excellence. It's striving to be consistent with what you do and consistent with your growth. And so when you actually then see yourself having taken 3 steps forward, 5 steps forward, you go, okay, this is not so bad. I can keep going.
Let's move that line forward.
Let's move the line forward. And so I think that's been a key motivator for me.
How do you get the balance right? Let's talk about some of the most pressurized, high-profile events in the world, FIFA. When I saw you in Qatar, I was like, okay, it's going to be fine. She'll run it for us. It's sorted. And it was. It was the most spectacular World Cup that we've seen in many years. But you've got to be so detail-orientated, yet you've got to be ready to just let go when things change. How do you handle an event of that magnitude? Is it a superpower?
It is.
How do you? It must be.
I don't necessarily know that it's a superpower, because it takes an army of people behind the scenes to make sure that these events kind of unfold and that we offer this spectacular experience for the fans, for the spectators, and for the players, the guys competing.
For sure, you don't often think about that, but it's their moment.
It's also their moment to shine. So I like to say that actually our job is to set the stage for them to perform on.
I love that.
Wow.
And again, because of my entertainment background and always being focused on what that stage is like for the band or for the performer. And I think it's about staying ready. I think that's always been my mantra, is staying ready for an opportunity, staying ready to be able to adapt. Because every project team you walk into operates slightly differently, and so you have to go in with a spirit of collaboration always. And I think Qatar was tough because it was it was a beast. It was one city but 8 stadiums. You know, one country, 8 stadiums, and the team was, many of us only met each other for the first time. There were a few kind of common denominator faces that I'd worked with previously in Peru or in the UAE region, and so it's about going, hey, you know, first day of the job. How are you? I'm Tash.
Right, now let's broadcast to 350 million people. Let's go.
And I think, you know, as this team here well understands, is you don't get a do-over. You know, tomorrow's a new day. So with every match that happens in a tournament or every venue that you go into, it's always about how do we think in advance. So you're almost doing risk management in advance
stuff that might never
potentially
ever happen.
Yes, but the minute it does, somebody needs to stay calm and goes, right, we're switching to plan B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, and I think I've learned to hone that ability over the years.
Can I ask you this, because I don't know if you're allowed to until the book or the streaming series comes out, but what has been the most terrifying moment for you in this incredible journey, or is every moment like that? Because I know you bear the weight of all of our kind of hopes and dreams. You really do have that energy about you when you put events together, but has there been one moment that came close to breaking you?
I think there were probably 2. I mean, I can't go into too much detail about it, but working on Nelson Mandela's memorial event at Cape Town Stadium. That event, obviously, you know, he had passed away, and then we had 4 days to put that event together, and then there were teams around the country, obviously, that were working. And so I think the wanting it to be the best you could do was, there were a few moments where everybody was like, are we going to make this in time? It was, you know, these events were globally broadcast. The eyes of the world were on us in a different way from what it was in 2010.
Still for the right reasons.
Yes, but people were grieving. So when you're grieving and you're more emotional, your expectation of what that experience is going to be is suddenly so heightened. So it's, you know, do we have the right people saying things? Do we have the right performers? Do we have the right tech teams helping us put this thing on? Is the, you know, and then you're having to find the balance of kind of somber and celebration and respect. And so that was really tough emotionally, you know, but then you get the flip side of that, and you get the joyful anticipation and excitement. Is fast forward then to 2023, when I worked on the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, and the
Best
fact
ever.
that Banyana was there, and so I was working at I worked across all 10 stadiums in Australia and New Zealand, so 4 in New Zealand and 6 in Australia, and I was on a flight probably every 4 days, traveling to another stadium. And I was very lucky in that some of my movements coincided with where they were playing, you know, their matches. So that was emotional, because I just was like, come on, do it. Do it.
Girls,
Do it. It's my girls. But also there were South African fans, you know, who had immigrated there, who had now made their lives there. But I think it's that taste of home for them, you know, and so you stand there very proud. But for example, in the FIFA family, you know, people come from all the corners of the world.
For sure.
So you kind of stand out there as a very
You've got
proud
to be a
South
neutral,
African.
but you can't let go of
but
that.
You know,
I get that.
We know you were wearing green and gold on the inside,
on the inside, and every now and again just putting a pin on, or my socks, or, you know, just sneaking it in there.
I am in awe of what
Honestly.
you've done within your career, because I'm feeling you haven't even hit your straps yet. I have a feeling the best is yet to come. I'm not going to let you speak any negativity whatsoever as the magic continues to manifest around you. But we are really so proud of you, and congratulations on being officially the Woman of the Year. Can we get a round of applause?
Thank
Absolutely
you.
love
Thank
you,
you,
Tash.
everyone. Thank you.
Just keep on doing what you're doing, girl.
I appreciate that. Thank you.